to give a background of what has been happening across Nigeria and what other nations, particularly US, is trying to do, or even to make sure that they try to block this Christians genocide, or even the government of Nigeria trying to execute all this towards Nigerians. And starting us off, because I said I want just to open up, or even to make a kind of reference to what has been taking place. I just want you to be updated. And from 1st January to 10th August 2025, an estimated 7,087 Christians were killed across Nigeria. In the same period, this is first 220 days of 2025, an estimated 78 or even 7,800 Christians were abducted for being Christians. And again, that works out to roughly 30 Christian deaths per day and more than 1 death per hour between January and August 2025. And in the year 2024, the group Open Doors estimated about 3,100 Christians killed and 2,830 abducted in Nigeria since around 2009, according to International Society for Civil Liberties and Rule of Law. And this is kind of in the society, 125,000 Christians killed, among them 60,000 liberal Muslims killed in related violence. And this, we're just doing a small comparison whereby 19,100 churches were destroyed. In a 4-year span, this is data from a survey, 55,910 fatalities from 9,970 attacks of 30,880 civilians killed. 16,769 were Christians versus 6,235 Muslims. And this ratio goes maybe to, mathematically, this goes to maybe 6 to 5 and 5 to 1 in the attacks that I've just given to you. And the churches being attacked, it's reported that about 100 churches are attacked per month. This interpressed into 3 churches being attacked every day. And regional data says that, for example, in Benue State, this is Middle Belt, 1,100 deaths among Christians in January to August 2025 alone. And you have to note this important note and context: many of the attacks are carried out by militant groups such as Boko Haram, Islamic State, West Africa Province, and this is ISWAP, and radicalized other militias, especially Fulani Ada linked. The violence often overlaps with farmer Ada conflicts, land use disputes, and general criminality. Not all attacks are purely religious in motive. This is emphasized by the Nigerian government and some analysts. Data collection is challenging. Many attacks happen in remote rural areas. Many go undocumented and underreported. Thus, figures are estimated and likely conservative, and regional concentration in the Middle Belt. States such as Benue, Plateau, Kaduna, and Nasarawa and Northeastern bear the brunt of the violence. Displacement: large numbers of Christians and others have been internally displaced, with farms and villages abandoned due to insecurity. And on that note, if you're looking at the numbers, this is to mean it's like there are some political interests, there are some interests that may be well versed within themselves, and again, this may range from different interests, maybe farms, maybe the issues of adding, and this is maybe taking place from a region of people called the Fulani region. I think this is something that we used to do maybe in class 6, class 7, around that place. And on that note, as I had mentioned, that we're looking at a place whereby this looks like a case that maybe should be taken to ICC for further investigation and analytics. But we're looking at Trump being very strict and stern on this, whereby Trump publicly accused Nigeria of allowing the killing of Christians, claiming Christians are being killed in very large numbers. He directed the U.S. Department of Defense, referred to as the Department of War, in his social media post to prepare for possible military action in Nigeria if the Nigerian government fails to stop this killing. Also, in a way to control even and tame this genocide killings and attacks for Christians, he threatened to immediately stop all U.S. aid and assistance to Nigeria if the Nigerian government continues to allow what he described as mass killings of Christians by radical Islamic groups. He did not even stop there. He added that he designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern for religious freedom violations, citing the alleged targeting of Christians. And as I said earlier, we have freedom of expression in that you have to express your religion. You have to express what you feel like you want to worship. And this remains a sovereign right or even a divine right for someone to worship what they need. That's why you're looking at the attacks that are taking place as far as Christians are concerned in Nigeria. But we as a country and generally the world, we condemn what is Welcome back to EBN Prime Edition. This is JKS Thursdays. My name is Jeffrey Kimaiyu Somba and my sign language interpreter is Laura Omondi. And starting us off, Julius Migosi Ogamba, Cabinet Secretary for the Ministry of Education, has provided key clarifications on the boarding fees policy for high schools while launching the new technical and vocational education and training TVET policy in Kiambu County. In speaking at the official launch of the national TVET policy in Kiambu, the CS reaffirmed the government's commitment to accessible and affordable secondary education. He made clear that public day secondary schools remain fully covered under the government's capitation regime and that unauthorized extra fees, including aid and boarding surcharges in public schools, will not be tolerated. On the matter of boarding schools, CS Ogamba acknowledged that boarding sections in public high schools remain subject to standard fee structures and approved by policy, and additionally boarding charges above this must be transparently communicated and justified.
Ladies and gentlemen, we mark a major milestone in the history of Kenya's education and skills development journey. We gather for the launch of the dual training policy, a policy that speaks directly to the hopes of our young people and the promises that we have made to future generations. We gather not just to launch a policy document, but to celebrate a powerful idea that learning thrives where theory meets practice, where classrooms meet workplaces, where young people gain not only knowledge, but hands-on experience, confidence, and pathways to meaningful employment. That's why when we did the survey, I think 61% were of the opinion that the dual training policy increases chances in employment. Kenya is a youthful nation. More than 70% of our citizens are below the age of 35. This is not simply a demographic fact, but is also a national treasure. Our young people stand ready to imagine, to create, and to build. Our young people do not ask for charity, they ask for opportunity. And as a government, our duty is clear. We must equip our youth with skill. As you may already know, we provide free compulsory basic education in line with Article 53 of our Constitution. The current education reform process that is geared towards the competency-based education will not change this fact. The approved rates of capitation remain in place. That's 1,420 per year. The government has placed TVET at the center of our development agenda to expand opportunity, drive industrial growth, and empower our youth with skills, dignity, and a future they can build with their own hands and minds. Just a week ago, the Higher Education Loans Board released 441 million for upkeep loans to 54,204 students enrolled in TVET colleges. So far, more than 126,000 TVET students have been funded in the financial year 2025-2026, amounting to a total of 3.47 billion. The dual training policy, therefore, is one of the boldest steps that we are taking to fulfill this duty. It reflects our belief that learning must be practical, it must be relevant, and closely connected to the real economy. It is a critical pillar in the implementation of the competency-based education and training, and aligns with Vision 2030's promise of a globally competitive industry.
And on other stories, the government has pledged to protect Kenyans living in Tanzania following post-election unrest in the country. Speaking during the official inauguration as a member and ambassador of the Kenya's Council Association, Interior Ministry Principal Secretary Raymond Omolo said that the Ministry of Interior is already working with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs through the Kenyan Embassy in Tanzania to ensure the safety of all Kenyans residing there. Omolo also assured that his ministry will cooperate with the family of the late John Okoth Ogutu, a Kenyan national who was shot dead during the election violence in Tanzania.
Any cause for alarm or any reason for any Kenyan in Tanzania or anywhere else to worry about their safety. What we continue to encourage everybody, like we do in this country, is that all of us, the countries, have our rule of law, and there is a respect for rule of law. Let's, whatever it is, if there are any issues, we confine ourselves to what the law allows us to do. In that way, there is no reason for anyone to be worried about it. Yes, I know there's an unfortunate case of one Kenyan who is a teacher who in the process of all that commotion lost his life. I have been in touch with my colleague in charge of foreign affairs, and there's already the contact that has been created with the embassy in Dar es Salaam. So what I would urge the family is that we are doing what it takes to be able to make the necessary arrangements for making sure that that particular case is handled in a manner that is respectful. And we will be reaching out to the family, and as I've indicated, we have our Ministry of Foreign Affairs that has that responsibility. So it's just to give them the assurance that we are working on it to be able to sort or resolve the issue.
Initiative of making our environment better.
And switching gears to other stories, the women's movement in the country has called on political parties to ensure meaningful inclusion of grassroots women in party structures and in coalition negotiations, especially as the nation heads towards the 2027 general elections. Leaders of the Mama Kenya movement stated that the women constituted a large percentage of those who registered as voters in 2022, making their participation and influence both legitimate and significant. They also announced plans to launch a nationwide civic education campaign aimed at promoting voter registration while encouraging peace and development across the country.
Women constitute a significant proportion of Kenya's population and electorate, representing over 49% of represented voters in 2022 general election. Their participation is critical to the legitimacy, inclusivity and effectiveness of governance.
Kama Mama Kenya hatuna mipaka, na ukiangalia hapa kuna wamama wa kila chama tukikuna nao. Tumekuja pamoja, Waislamu, Wakristo, wa vyama vyote. Lengo letu ni kisha kuna mabadiliko na nafasi ya mama inatambulika katika maendeleo.
Now sliding into matters education, Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers KUPPET, Embu County branch has petitioned the government to convert junior secondary intern teachers into permanent and pensionable terms before schools open for next year's school's calendar. Led by branch executive secretary Jacob Karura, the officials say the 20,000 intern teachers contracted by the Teachers Service Commission TSC for 1 year to bridge the staffing gap following introduction of competency-based education CBE had served diligently and deserved to be converted into permanent employment.
We have about 20,000 teachers who are serving on intern basis. We demand that they be confirmed before hiring the next cohorts of the intern teachers. Our fear is they may not be confirmed at the right time. We are demanding that they be confirmed so that when we open on first term 2026, they will be made permanent and pensionable. We are aware that teachers are being migrated to SHA comprehensive. We are demanding that in documents so that we can see, internalize the pros and cons of the medical scheme. And we are not relenting on this one. We are saying it should be done because when teachers were told that they will be migrated to SHA, there was no public participation which took place.
Kwe arimu mandikitwe na contract aria maretwo ati intern teachers andu aya ni mathire teaching practice na makirikia internship yao vindio koguo tha ino kama bati gukorwo mayandike ni thirikari na tukauria thirikari to ni twese ni makwandika arimu Januari mbere ya mandike arimu ageni mambe makonfirm andu aya ma internship na macoke mongerere arimu engi iguru riacio tugacoka tukauga Ovoro wa medical scheme arimu tuyathiniku miaka mingi twi under AON Minet na tukauga ni wega nundu nturavirwa SHA comprehensive no aturia atiriri ni tuvewe details cia uria turavirwa SHA comprehensive nikentagua natwe twerewe tutikaurire vau gatagatiri tukithio tukerwa tutiravewa giki nundu tutina details cia kuria turavirwa SHA na nindwe turavewa na nindwe.
Remember, you're watching EBN Prime Edition, and this is JKS Thursdays. And proceeding, teachers in Murang'a County have staged protest in Gatanga constituency demanding the immediate confirmation of 20,000 junior secondary school interns to permanent and pensionable terms. The teachers who were recruited in November and posted in January on a year internship with a monthly pay of 17,000 say the low pay and lack of medical cover have caused stress, depression and domestic challenges. They also want the Teachers Service Commission to abolish internship program and confirm them on permanent basis. This comes as Treasury John Buddy claims that the government will allocate 54 billion to confirm the teachers in January.
Psychologically, we are not able to deliver in classes because we are not even able to meet our demands even from our homes. Our wives are demanding for us to perform, but we are unable to do so.
As intern teachers, we stand here with a lot of stress. We stand here with a lot of depression, more so with a lot of anxiety. Kwa nini? Maana tumeweka kwa giza. Hatujui kesho yetu itakuwa aje. As intern teachers, we are suffering.
Na la kusisitizia ni kwa walimu hapa ni walimu wa kisayansi. Hawana allowances. Ninasikitika kwa mwalimu wa kisayansi kuna risks ambazo anapitia. Na mwalimu huyu hana medical cover yenye ko sustainable. Ni kuonyesha kuwa serikali ni kama haimtambii mwalimu kabisa.
We can even imagine a 17,000 Kenya shillings in Nairobi. No commuter allowances, no benefits, especially the medical allowances. For example, a female teacher. You are told you are being paid 17,000 and most of the female teachers, some get pregnant during the course. How are you supposed to take care of the babies? How are you supposed to give birth?
And matters politics and condolences to our departed former Prime Minister Raila Odinga is that Kalonzo had a visit to Poda Farm, Raila's home. And Wiper Party leader and one of the opposition principals, Kalonzo Musyoka, earlier today led a delegation of Kamba community elders on a visit to Kisumu and later proceeded to Bondo, Siaya County to pay respect at the grave of the late Raila Odinga. Speaking to journalists, Kalonzo praised the late Raila, describing him as a steadfast Democrat who dedicated his life to fighting for good governance, justice and development, not only for Kenya but for the entire African continent.
Today I have come to mourn my late brother, Raila Amolo Odinga, with whom we went to the trenches to give this country a good, reputable, respectable, democratically oriented nation. The type of nation that young Kenyans have been looking forward to, and in fact have literally agitated. So I'm dressed this way literally to remember that I'm going to honor the father of maandamano. We resisted, and Kenyans are still resisting bad governance. Kwa hivyo tumefurahi kabisa, tumeambiwa Kisumu dala. Tumekaribishwa Kisumu. We pay a short courtesy call on Governor Peter Anyang' immediately from here, and I think the rest of us will be moving to Bondo. So, and then of course the members of parliament, the former members like Mheshimiwa Ezekiel Mweu, Mheshimiwa Patrice Ivuti, Mheshimiwa Ndoto is actually the chair of even the wing of Ngema upande wa Mount Kenya South, literally, is here. And so we're very excited. I've just been talking to the Kamba local stations out there.
And on a sad note, 2 people have died while 5 others are in critical condition in hospital after consuming suspected toxic illicit liquor in Gitana village, Igembe North, Meru County. It is reported that one of the deceased, who was the brewer of the liquor, allegedly laced the drink with poison before sharing it with his companions. Meru County Commissioner Jacob Ouma has issued a stern warning to the area chief, who is accused of taking bribes and turning a blind eye to the illegal brewing and consumption of illicit alcohol in the region.
Na hii fombe ni wakubwa wetu ndio wanaleta fombe kwa sababu ya kukula hongo. Sasa tunasema hivi, wakuu wetu wakubwa wakuja watuangalilie Ngitana kwa sababu tunaona tunaisa kabisa.
Mtu ameajiriwa anapewa shilingi, hata ilisikia si hata 200 yote, hata ukimpea 20 anakuambia endelea. Na tumekuja kugundua viongozi wetu, hata ukikuja na sumu ile inaitwa hata ile ndawa ya kunyunyizia samba, ukimwambia sika 200 ni kunywa, anaweza kuambia kunywa, hiyo ni shida yako.
Kutoka leo tarehe 5 mwezi wa 11 watu wa Ngitana tumeza.
Nasikitika ya kwamba badala ya kupambana na pombe imewachwa kupambana na watu. Komanda ya polisi, angalia moja kwa moja the police establishment ambayo iko within ni itoke hapa, mtafute askari mpatie watu ambao wanaweza kusaidia nani? Kusaidia wananchi. Na wale ambao tunasikia ni wanatajwa sijui machifu, sijui watu gani ambao wanahusika na hivi vitu, wanaokota pesa. Mimi nawahakikishia kwamba wao sasa tutawapa kibali cha kuja wakote hizo pesa, lakini bila nguo ya serikali. Alafu tutafute watu ambao wanaweza kufanyia wananchi.
And Kwale Governor Fatuma Achani has officially launched the construction of a new emergency services unit at Musambweni Rivaro Hospital. Speaking during the groundbreaking ceremony, Governor Achani said the administration remains committed to strengthening and upgrading the health sector to ensure residents receive quality and timely health care, especially in emergency situations. She also added that the new facility will be equipped with modern medical equipment, intensive care wards and dedicated emergency treatment areas for both children and adults. Through this project, the county government aims to reduce the number of patients forced to travel long distances to seek emergency medical services in Mombasa or Taita Taveta. The construction of this center has been made possible through a partnership with the Emergency Medicine Kenya Foundation.
Tengeneza sehemu mpya, maternity mpya. Sasa hii maternity yetu ya zamani tunaenda kuibomoa, kuirekebisha ili tuwe na mahali pazuri nadhifu ambapo kesi zetu za emergency zinaweza kupokelewa pale na zikafanywa vizuri. Na sehemu ile itaweza kuaccess kutoka hapa. Hii mijengo ya zamani ambayo iko hapa tunaenda kuiondoa.
There are so many challenges with emergency medicine in terms of access, equipment, and we are happy with this leadership that we are able to provide those equipment and expansion of the emergency department and also the training of the staff. So we will continue with that partnership and we are hoping to do even more for the county at large, not just at Msambweni, so that there is access at large, in the county at large.
Na sio leo tu, shafungua ile ya watoto pale kwa nzima, watu wote kuanzia Mombasa wote wanakuja hapa, kila kitu tunaleta miradi hapa. Kwa hivyo kwa sisi wananchi tunasema ni shukrani sana. Uende mama na hizi kazi zako, na hakika mpaka tukipita ile wakati tunataka tena tutakosa mali za kazi zako.
And residents of Mangu Ward, Gatundu North in Kiambu County woke up this morning in shock and sadness after discovering that the newly constructed St. Francis ECDE center had been vandalized. During the overnight incident, vandals broke in, installed metal doors and window frames, then went to demolish parts of the walls, leaving the facility in a deplorable state. The center, which consists of PP1 and PP2 classrooms, an office and toilets, is among the 312 ECDE centers built by Governor Kimaiyu Matangi's administration since he assumed office. Angry residents condemned the act and called on the government to take swift action against those responsible for the destruction of public property. They also claimed that a local politician is suspected of orchestrating the demolition to pave the way for another project, an allegation that has deeply angered the community.
Mimi katika hii asubuhi nimepigiwa simu tukakuja tukaona venye shule yetu imeharibika na tumepatwa na mshtuko sana. Juu tulikuwa tuna expect watoto wetu wakuwe kwa good environment na shule nzuri yenye Matangi alikuwa ametutengenezea. Hata kama tulikuwa tuna expect hii shule itabomolewa, lakini tulikuwa tumeambiwa hii ECD haitaguzwa. Kwa hivyo tu ningeomba kama kuko na hiyo mpango ya shule kubomolewa, wacha ifanywe na mpango yenye na tufuate protocol yenye inastahili. Tunaomba ili tuweze kupata amani katika hii area na tukatai maendeleo, lakini hata kama ni maendeleo itakuja, wacha tutumie protokoli yenye inastahili.
Hili darasa limejengwa kwa kutumia pesa ya umma, na ile pesa imetumika hapa, ukiona ni darasa mzuri, imetumia milioni 4,200,000. Kwa hivyo ni vibaya sana wakati vijana wanatumiwa usiku wakuja waharibu pesa ya umma, na ndio maana tunasema wakipatikana wachukuliwe hatua na hatua kali, ndio wasifanye hii kazi tena, na siasa ya upuzi hatuitaki Gatundu North.
Badala ya kubomoa yenye iko, tunafaa kujenga zingine, kutumia zile mashamba ziko ama kununua shamba zingine tunajenga badala ya kubomoa. Hii shule haijasomewa miezi 3, imebomolewa kama bado ni mpya.
And on other stories, governors have unanimously agreed to push for increased investment in the health sector in SHA, while calling for a meeting with President William Ruto soon to assess the exit of investors from the sector. They emphasized that the residents of the county are greatly affected, noting that many Kenyans rely on county-level health care services for their medical needs.
Health SHA, that is under the UC. Universal health coverage, we really need to understand in details what is it that there is a year after this program was launched. Is it working? If not, what needs to be done? Are there challenges that we can be able to address both at the Council of Governors and as the governors? And what needs to be done at the highest level, that is the policy making level?
The issue of locking out our staff from SHA claims by 9th. Today is 5th. I can guarantee you by 9th we will not have gotten our disbursement. Our disbursement will come after 9th. By the time we remit, it will be around 17th. We will not remit less money for SHA simply because the date passed. There's national government employees. Are they also being locked out? Of course not. So what arrangement they mean? This is blunted discrimination.
Stories from Western Region. Bungoma County Governor Kenneth Lusaka has issued a stern warning to county government employees against engaging in early political activities, urging them instead on focusing on the constitutional duties assigned to them. Speaking after signing appointments for ministers and other leaders, Governor Lusaka expressed concern that some officials have already begun premature campaigning before the appropriate time, encouraged employees to carry out their responsibilities diligently and to maintain good relationship between leaders and their departments as a key approach to promoting a development.
Politics is setting in. And listen to my advice. Some people never listened are now calling me to say, boss, kama tuliteleza mahali, things are not going the way we expected. Be very careful. Be very careful now. Many will be called, but few will be chosen. People will come around now to entice you. Let's go. I know some of you are already beginning to panic. So what happens when Governor Lusaka goes? You are trying to secure your next position by forgetting what you are supposed to deliver now. You will miss both. I'm telling you for a fact. You will miss both. Just be patient. There is still time. Learn from me. I came here to campaign when we had 4 months to go. 4 months. And I became the governor. Today I'm addressing you as a governor. Because I knew when to engage with gear, when to move. You see, when we have reads, you know reads, please build teams in your department. I can assure you for free, you cannot succeed alone.
So Your Excellency asked that this is for the top management, but the lower cadre across the departments, they be taken to, if it's Mabanga FTC, we invite the specialists from various KST departments that trained from work here. That way, the cost effectiveness is cheaper, and the cost of transporting people to go to school is cheaper. Because I remember I was employing the new staff, I had to fetch 64 people to KST by Rico in one go. They have to pay them per diem and they feed them for that 1 full week. It wasn't easy, but when you say we are taking people with specific job groups in Mabang for training from Monday to Friday, it will be cheaper.
And Brighter Monday Kenya, in partnership with MasterCard, has launched a new report aimed at addressing youth unemployment and promoting gender equality. Brian Mulama said the research findings will help bridge the employment gap, while Sarah Dengwa emphasized that inclusion is a key driver of development. Nancy Chebet from the Department of Gender Affairs stated that the report supports government efforts to expand equal opportunities for all.
The reason why this study was done, it recognizes that 75% of the population is under 35. Yet, unemployment still stands at 35%, triple the national average, mainly in the counties that we were able to look at it. Between 2022 and 2025, we noticed that 90% of new jobs that were created were in the informal sector. We still call it the informal sector, but the truth is a big population of those who are in that sector serve as citizens, but also contribute to the larger economy. Within this stable sector, you will realize that there is urgent need for formalizing and making sure that there are stable employment pathways. Employers are shifting towards digital-first hiring and skills-based recruitment. But the report indicates that there is a mismatch between what the graduates come with from college and what the human experts, the human resource experts will want within the job market. So in this response, Brighter Monday through Gen Z, Generation Kazi, the Young Africa Works commissioned this study just to find out what are the inclusive employment strategies that are needed to solve some of these particular issues that we are speaking to. When you look at the finding, it indicates that youth make out 80% of Kenya's labor force entrants, but face the highest unemployment and the employment rates. A lot of us, when we talk about recruitment, that percent of entry point is young people. But the challenge is, again, here is where we have a lot of hurdles. Digital transformation is reshaping work, yet many young people lack access to these devices, lack access to connectivity, lack access to digital skills. Employers are hiring differently, majority prioritizing skills, adaptability, online presence over formal credentials. So these days, it's easy for somebody, if you just say, who are you? I'm Edwin Ochieng. The first thing they do is they go to LinkedIn, and then they want to see what is your profile, what are your qualifications and all that. If you don't have a presence there, already they put doubt into who you are. Policy momentum is growing. The already national strategies on youth employment, digital inclusion, and TVET reform. Our representatives from government have spoken here, and you can tell that at every level, whether national or county, there's a lot of policy movements to be able to ensure that the environment is good. But the question is, where is the gap? Is it the implementation? Is it the political goodwill? Because across the continent, Kenya prides herself as one of the countries where policy conversations are very robust, very deep, and when we go into certain forums, people are mesmerized by the number of policies we have, by the kind of policies we have. People still speak about our constitution up to now. I think apart from the US constitution and maybe England that doesn't even have a constitution, the most talked about constitution is the Kenyan constitution. So when it comes to policies, we recognize that there's already movements there that are already setting momentum. The stakes are high. There's economic growth, social cohesion, and the dignity for Kenya, for Kenyans' next generation depends on inclusive employment system. It's not enough to put in systems to employ people and young people. It requires that these systems are inclusive, reaching the most marginalized population and ensuring that no one is left behind.
And another sad news from Kabete is that police and the Kabete sub-county headquarters have arrested a 41-year-old woman named Mary Nkina Maina from Gakinduri village, Chura, in connection with the murder of her 11-year-old daughter, Irene Waidera. It is alleged that the suspect strangled her daughter using a belt. Neighbors have expressed concern that the killings may be linked to certain religious beliefs. Peter Kimotho, the Kabete Sub-County Police Commander, has confirmed the incident, saying the suspect is in custody awaiting court while investigations continue.
Naitishwa damu. Lakini sasa kwa tangu tuliona 2008 na tukaendelea vizuri sana. Sasa tangu 2019 alitoka kwa hiyo kanisa tulikuwa tumefanyia doa, akaenda kwa hiyo kanisa. Ndio sasa hii mambo ilianza kubadilika.
Hiyo kanisa ichunguzwe sana, sababu alikuwa akiambiwa ati akifanya hiyo kitendo atakuwa queen wa hiyo kanisa.
Ningetaka iwekwe wazi ndio na sisi tujue, na tujue ni watu aina gani tunaishi nao hapa.
Hii ni jambo ambaye imetupata katika hali ambayo ni ya kutatanisha, na tunaomba wananchi ama wale ambao ni wahusika, wale ambao wako pale, tusiongee mengi kuhusu hii maneno kwa sababu uchunguzi.
You like sports? This is where we're going. And 40 teams from 5 wards in Langata constituency will take part in the first edition of the Abbas Super Cup football tournament, which will kick off on Monday, December 10th and conclude on December 13th at Nyayo Stadium in Nairobi. The tournament aims to nurture football talent from the grassroots.
This tournament kuparticipate peke yake team kucheza inalipwa 50,000. Sio wanalipwa, wao wanalipwa kucheza. Then another thing, winner anatoka na basi ya 33 seater, number 2 14 seater, number 3 gari ndogo. Tumefanya hivyo because timu nyingi za mtaani, hata ukiangalia kuna timu zingine ziko league, transport inawalemea.
Toka nicheze mpira sijawahi ona tournament kama hii yenye Abbas anatoa hizi gift. I think hii ni tournament mzuri sana kwa vijana. Naweza sema ni a good motivation to the youth.
We started with a story on Christians' genocide in Nigeria. And what we can say, none's religion is better than the other. No one is superior than the other. No one is special than the others. So what you do is just to take your lines, make sure that you protect the rights of your friend. And that story from sports desk brings us to the end of JKS Thursdays. But before we go, thank you for the team that has made this broadcast a success and to a sign language interpretation docket. We thank you so much, Laura Omondi. My name is Jeffrey Kimaiyu Somba. If you feel it so long for you to pronounce, it is JKS, and JKS Thursdays come to an end this minute. Good night.